3 years ago, the Missing and Murdered Indigenous women and girls was kind of like a new term that was like introduced to me. It was something that I wasn't educated on or took the time to educate myself on. And I didn't really realize the statistics, knowing that I'm a person of color, that I'm an Indigenous woman, how targeted I am to society. But within the last year, I've lost 3 family members to violence. And so the impact that it has on me personally, it completely, it changed my whole community where I'm from. It changed my family dynamic. It also basically changed my whole perspective, considering I have 2 kids now. They're really young and I have to teach them they're a targeted population to the outside world.
We've been having the MMIWGP for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, and People for the past 3 years here in Bemidji, Minnesota. Kind of started because a woman came into my office and said she thought that we needed that in our community, and there have been these walks going on throughout, mostly Canada, and now growing. It's growing that is happening in the US, and it happens on February 14th. And we wanted to have a walk in solidarity with our missing sisters, grandmas, aunties, cousins, mamas, daughters, and friends. We just decided to do it. It's pretty cool to do it here in Bemidji on February 14th, but people come out for this cause. They come out and they don't mind walking through the snow or the blizzards or over snowbanks, and because it's very important to people in our community. We had some events that happened before the walk to help get some information out to people about what we were doing and what the issues were, to do some facts and some community events. We did a really cool session where we made t-shirts and we screen printed t-shirts, and I think that was really helpful.
We're doing a silkscreen workshop for the MMIW March on Thursday. So everybody's doing red bandanas and t-shirts so they can participate in the march.
You know, people want to honor their loved ones, and however they can do that, that's what brings people out, because this is an issue that has been so largely ignored outside of our direct communities, outside of Indigenous communities, and we know. And so when there's the opportunity for us to say our loved ones' names, then we take that opportunity. No question. One of the things that I did find really powerful about the event is that it brings people together who have a lot to say and contribute to our community and to this conversation, who may not be the normal people that the media go to, or that are called upon to talk about this, but yet they are the experts. And so when they come to this event, they bring their gifts, whether it's Mark R. Kingbird Sr., who created a song for us and sang it for us and gifted it to us and gifted it to all MMIW, is that we recognize that our community has a lot of power, has a lot to offer, and has a lot to say about this issue, and has a lot of the solutions and helpful things to do. And so it's really, I feel like this march helps bring everyone together. There are people who came who made really amazing signs, who printed out pictures of their loved ones and walked with them, or just said their names out loud, and were witnessed by everyone. And our community knows how to love each other up through pain. And so when we have honor songs and things like that, it helps to support them in that way, and to make sure that they know that they're heard, and that we care about the fact that their loved ones are missing or have been hurt. And so It's just really a powerful thing when Indigenous communities come together around an issue that's difficult, and then we remember like how beautiful we are, how much power we have, how much we have to say, and what we can do to help.
4 out of 5 Native women are affected by violence today. In some communities, the U.S. Department of Justice found that American Indian women face murder rates that are more than 10 times the national average. To understand the issue of violence against Native women and violence against Indigenous people, period, it's important to understand the history of the United States, and that violence and sexual violence was a tool used to gain control and power over land and bodies. And so from the time of contact, there's been this connection between what happens to the land happens to the body. And that's why we know in places such as Fort Berthold, where fracking is taking place, that there's been an increase of violent crimes, especially against Native women and girls.
I mean, it's sad that even like we are still having this conversation, like, okay, well, another person is being murdered, what can we do about it? How can we change people? How can we make each other feel more safer, like when we go out? And like these are questions that we constantly have to like ask ourselves like every day. And it's just like when is my safety not gonna have, when am I gonna have to be like not so concerned about my safety or like my kids' safety? And it's just like, this is the world that we live in.
These walks are just a piece of all of the work that's being done. There are hardworking women and men who are trying to bring attention and action to this issue, whether it's through legislation, art, music, poems, walks like this, all to bring awareness and to bring an end to the violence. Even things like empowering Indigenous women to have say-so in our own lives, in the way that we are portrayed in media, for example. All of those things are important, and they're all part of the overarching issue that we're dealing with. Like, why are we the ones who are so targeted? There's a reason why, and it's because perpetrators know that Indigenous women have been ignored, have received the least amount of public protection, have been devalued, and so that looks to perpetrators like we are easy victims. We want to change that. And the more we talk about it, the more we bring it out in the open, the more we challenge stereotypes about what Indigenous women are supposed to do or who we look like. Just have your voices heard, stand tall, stand powerful. Your grandmas are behind you, watching you, cheering you on.